Last Wednesday at Bellevue in Yorkshire, Wakefield Trinity put up quite a fight in more ways than one. Conditions didn't help any, but when there was play, the Kangaroos, fielding their second team, provided enough skill and power to run out a 36-18 victory. Today, the Kangaroo Tour is back in Lancashire for what's regarded as the fourth test. It's Wigan against Australia, and the atmosphere will be as good as anything on the tour. Central Park, Wigan, despite renovation work, is once again a sellout. Hello and welcome to Central Park. Before we go any further, let's take you out and have a look around the ground. New terracing being built at the south end where we are here, which has cut the capacity to around about 29,000, but nevertheless, that's the biggest crowd at a sports event anywhere in England this weekend. Rangers shaded it in Scotland yesterday. Well, what's being billed as the fourth test match may very well prove to be just that. Ellery Hanley leads a formidable Wigan side, despite the fact that they're missing 4 full internationals. Well, the Australians, when they were last here in 1986, were frightened by Wigan, who put up a tremendous fight and eventually just lost. What now of 1990? Can Wigan halt the tourists' remarkable run here in Great Britain? Former Great Britain hooker Mike Stevenson joins our commentary team for this one, which is led by Eddie Hemmings, who has the team news for us. Eddie.
And Gary Belcher, the best fullback in the world, was 1 for Australia. Andy Ettinghausen, 3 tries last week, is in 2. A formidable centre partnership, Mal Meninga, the captain, in 3, and Mark McGaw in 4. Michael Hancock, he scored a try last weekend, was 5. Laurie Daly, tipped to be the star of the tours, in 6. Alan Langer is at 7. Steve Roach was 8. He also has a try, as does Kerrod Walters, who is the hooker, at 9. Martin Bella, the big manly man, at 10. John Cartwright from Penrith is in 11. Paul Siranen, watch out for him, he's in 12. And Bob Lindner is the loose forward in 13. And the coach is Bobby Fulton. Huge crowd inside Central Park. 29,000 all ticket, and Wigan will line up with Steve Hampson at full-back. David Myers is on the wing. Kevin Iro plays despite injury problems in the centres alongside Joe Lydon. David Marshall is a youngster who comes into this side today. He was 5. Sean Edwards is at 6, and a big boost for Wigan and Great Britain. Andy Gregory's fit to play at scrum half. Ian Lucas was 8. Martin Dermott, expect a big game from him today. He wants the hooking role for Great Britain. Kelvin Skerrett, the big money buy from Bradford Northern, he's in 10. Dennis Betts is 11. Andy Goodway was 12, one of the best running forwards in Great Britain. And Ellery Hanley, the captain, is the lock forward at 13. Happily back in the side after injury. And the coach, an Australian, John Money. Huge crowd inside the ground today and basking in glorious Lancashire sunshine. There's Bobby Fulton, the Kangaroos coach. He's looking very, very relaxed, I must say, as he pushes his way through this crowd to take his place in the grandstand to watch this one. But haven't they packed in here to see this game today? A little bit like deja vu. It was exactly like this in '86 when the Kangaroos opened their tour here in Great Britain. And on to the stage come the Australians. A formidable lineup. This, the likely test lineup. And there is Andrew Ettinghausen, a hat-trick scorer against St Helens last Sunday. They call him E.T. And Alan Langer, perhaps the man under most pressure from players like Ricky Stewart, Des Hasler and Greg Alexander. Alan Langer, though, the scrum half, who is in pole position for the test match at Wembley a week on Saturday. And just listen to the reception for Wigan. Great to see Andy Gregory in the side. A big boost for Wigan and a big boost for Great Britain. Gregory not playing yesterday. He had a fitness test behind the stands here this morning. He declared himself fit to play. And Ellery Hanley A man who has had 18 months of nightmare injuries. He's won just about every honour in the game. And again, such a boost for Wigan and Great Britain that he's here and fit to play. Ellery Hanley, he is a Great Britain ever-present almost. Whenever Hanley plays well, it seems Great Britain play well. And Joe Lydon, some will say lucky to be in the Wigan side today. Sent off at Hull last week, cleared though by the disciplinary committee in midweek. And Joe Lydon, one of the fastest running backs in the game, and he really can test the Australians, I think, with his pace. He scored a breathtaking try at Old Trafford in 1986. And the match referee, Colin Morris from Huddersfield, only the second year as a Grade 1 official, and he had charge of the Premiership trophy at Old Trafford in May. Those two will probably be lining up, injuries providing, at Wembley on Saturday week for that first test. Lovely day here at Wigan. And he's not been in the side too often in the last 18 months, Ellery Hanley, but he is very much here today and winding his players up for what is always regarded as the fourth test. No fewer than 10 internationals in the Wigan side that starts today, and we've been working it out, only 2 of the 17-man squad on duty for Australia who haven't played at test match level. Mal Meninga about to get this game underway. Then you'll see that arm guard because of the broken arm that he's had. He's broken that arm a number of occasions in the past, and now he just needs a bit of padding to get him through the course of matches. So we're underway. This is the fourth test, and Mal Meninga gets this game in progress. Hampson for Wigan. Good play from Hampson. Dermot, the acting halfback. He's looking for a big game today, left out of Malcolm Wheely's 19-man squad for the test, but this fellow hasn't been, and he has rather as well, Kelvin Skerrett. Will he force his way in today along with Martin Dermot? We shall see. Lydon, expect the kick. Ettinghausen. Brought down by Marshall. Langer, Daly, they're moving it well. That's Belcher. Magor, the size of him for a centre. Wigan doing well in the early stages, moving up, but St Helens did exactly that last week, and remember what happened to them. But that's good play. Bella. The last tackle then of this sequence. Langer. One to chase. There's no one back for Wigan, but the ball, I think, will run dead, and it does just. David Myers picks the ball up, and Wigan will restart. So let's get a first impression on this match as we watch Langer's kick ahead that ran dead from Mike Stevens.
Well, it's obviously Wigan. They want to play very tight in the forwards. I noticed on the defensive patterns they were moving in very quickly out wide. And they realised that Australia could have a few problems down the middle, and watch for Australia trying to spin the ball wide.
Good way. On his day, he is a tremendous player. No love lost in those challenges down there. Lydon. Kick from Lydon, and that is a great kick. Hancock just couldn't pick it up, and the ball rolled into touch.
Magnificent kick by Lydon, and that's the tactics that can keep the Australians on the back movement. There you see it. Hancock didn't want to touch it. They'll get the feed and of course the head at the scrum.
First scrum then goes to the Australians. Daly. Well chased Wigan though. That's a good run. Lindner. Sirenen now. Well tackled Wigan. They're sticking to the task well in the opening minutes here. Bella. I get the feeling that the Australians will know they've been in a match come the end of the day today, but so too will Wigan. Daly will kick. Bounced kindly for David Myers, and he was closed down immediately by the on-rushing Langer and Meninga. Well, it's a lovely day here. It's a shirt-sleeve crowd almost inside the ground. Let's see what conditions are like, though, at pitch side with Peter Hutton.
Well, the conditions very much against Wigan for the first half at least. A strong wind blowing into their face, and they also have to contend with the sun in their eyes. So watch out for the Australians putting up a few kicks to put the pressure on Steve Hampson.
And Ellery Hanley leading the charge for Wigan, driving the ball down the middle. This is the last tackle now. Stand by for another kick. Lydon's in position. Good kick against the wind, that. Belcher collects it though, first bounce, and the chasers have arrived. It's good play.
It certainly is, and the tactics are good by Lydon. He's got the kicking game working very early. They're forcing Australia into the corner. Great tactics by their coach, Moni.
Always one of the high spots, this game of the Kangaroo Tour. Only the 1973 tourists missed Wigan off their itinerary. Really is a great atmosphere whenever the Kangaroos are in town. Hancock shrugs Gregory off. And can't shrug the other four off. Cartwright tried to slip the ball, got a bang in the head for his pains. Wigan back in possession. Hanley, great run from Hanley. Kicks ahead for the speed merchant Iro. Iro's winning the chase, but so is Daly, and Daly's quick. Incisive run from Hanley and an incisive kick as well.
Well, this is great play. Good tackling. Hancock here, you see, coming inside. He caused a few problems. Couldn't get the man down. And, well, Gregory, here you see this. No, back to the open play.
And Australia underneath their own post. Shaun Edwards had to be brave then against Mark Magore, and he was. Walters.
That really will have given them boost of confidence, Wigan. That great break by their skipper.
You might notice during the course of the afternoon that Kevin Iro has heavy strapping on his left thigh. He's been feeling a hamstring. I just wonder if he'd been 100% fit, would he have caught that one? However, there's one of those long kicks Peter Hutton was talking about a few moments ago. Hampson collects under his posts. Look at the wall of defenders that face him. There's Iro with that strapping. The Australians lining flat at the play of the ball. They're always a bit susceptible to a break and a little chip ahead, as Hanley showed a few moments ago and as Edwards tried to show us then. Gregory. It's Lucas in the scrum cap. He's now without the scrum cap. Lydon again. That's right down Ettinghausen's throat. With good tackling from David Marshall. Belcher. So impressed with him last Sunday. They're all saying when you've got a man round your legs, you can't run with the ball. Bella. Just wonder how long Wigan can keep this going. Steve Roach, lovely play. Walters into no man's land. Edwards onto it. Hacks ahead. Edwards is going to win the race here with Lindner, I think. Oh, he's been pulled down. It's a try anyway, surely. The referee's gone under the sticks. It's a penalty try. A penalty try to Wigan. Hampson, the man who touched down. Sean Edwards kick ahead.
Well, this is an awful play by the Australians. Edwards kicks through, shows amazing speed here. There's no one at home. And the referee had no doubt here. Lindner took the man out. It's a penalty try, okay. And straight away he ran under the post. There you see Lindner taking Edwards down. He would have claimed the try. It was continued on. Myers went over for it. But really that was a bad pass by Walters. And there you see, no doubt about it, the referee had no hesitation. And from that bad play, there was a few punches thrown as well. And that's just the need that Wigan wanted.
So, a great start for Wigan. And while we're watching the replays of that try, David Myers, the man who touched it down. It didn't matter, though. The referee said penalty try because of the challenge on Lindner. Joe Lydon slotted over the conversion. And so, Wigan are ahead here by 6 points to 0. So the Australians will have been stung by that. That flat defence caught out.
Certainly was, and full credit to the Wigan side. They really have come out with guns blazing. The forwards are taking it to them. And as you said earlier, it's going to be a hard game all the way through.
Referee says the ball was knocked on. Certainly was, but was it stripped from the grasp of Andy Goodway?
Pretty hard to tell. Yes, it was. Walters the hooker. Referee didn't see that one.
10 minutes gone. It seems to have gone over in a flash, the opening 10 minutes. Aussies get the scrum. Meninga, good play from him. Good tackling from Hampson on his opposite number, Belcher. Meninga. Belcher again. 4 round him. I think they're warming to the task, the Wigan boys.
They certainly are, and Australia very slow to get their forwards into position.
Langer. Great run that was from McGaw that set up the chance for him, but Gregory was watching him like a hawk. This is Roach. Roach trying to break through. And that's how far they are from the Wigan line. Walters organising. This is McGaw. Meninga's out here. Good defence from Wigan. That's the last tackle, so Australia either have to kick or run it here. They're so close they elect to run it. Langer, oh, the gap's opened up for him. Good tackling though. Good cover defence. For a second, the gap opened up. Langer was on his way. Wigan shut the door.
Well, a penalty given away. Silly play by the Australians. A wild punch. And this is just what the doctor ordered. Wigan under pressure. Full credit to their defence. Langer goes through, but look at the swarming defence of the Wigan side. Now from this, there you see, we didn't get it quite on the replay, but I can assure you it was a very wild swing.
Lucas. Gregory. Hanley again. So good to see him back and fully fit. His injury will be tested to the limit today. Gregory. Belcher picks up, the chasers arrive. Siranen, oh, great stepping. And again. Good tackling from Dermot, though. Walters, Bella. Now then, the ball goes free. And David Marshall's come up with it for Wigan. Here's Skerrett.
This dish-like defence of the Wigan side is really causing Australia a lot of problems. They're moving up very quickly on the centres, and they're forcing Australia to come right down the centre.
Lucas taking route one. This is Dermot. This is Iro. Gregory. Remember him so much in '88, in the Test match in Sydney, when Great Britain beat the Aussies. Ettinghausen picks up. Belcher's in support. Hanley had him, but he managed to slip the ball to Meninga. There's a bit of afters going on between Belcher and Hanley. And here comes the touch judge, he's on. And just checking the correct number. Dermot, the man who's being called out.
A little bit over enthusiasm here from the hooker. That beautiful tackle here brought down the big Mal Meninga. And from that resulting play of the ball, Dermot threw the silly punch that lets Australia off the hook.
So they've made good ground. That's the Wigan 22 that they're lining up on. And Australia are inside the danger zone now. Roach. Langer. Cartwright. That was off the foot. The referee says it was a knock on. He's pulled him back for it. I wonder whether he's right. Let's see.
Well, he's paid the penalty for trying to get the ball away quickly. No, definitely off the foot. But playing the ball quickly often gives the impression it could be a knock on.
Australia have the advantage in the scrum count. It's now 2-1. But Wigan, more importantly, have the advantage on the scoreboard. Nearly 16 minutes gone, and Wigan are ahead by 6 points to 0. Good to be able to say that. Lucas. More in support. Lucas just had to take the tackle from Lindner. This is Dennis Betts. Edwards. Typical darting run from Sean Edwards. Now the kick from Lydon. No, he gives it to Hampson instead. And straight to his opposite number. They're working overtime, Wigan here. Langer, Daly, Meninga. Good run from the winger, Hancock. Still going. He's still going. Well, it was a good job that Skerrett held on to his ankles then. Bella drops it. Wigan's ball. Hanley. Great run from Hanley. Sold the dummy to Daly. Daly took it. Good to see Hanley in this form.
Certainly is, and Daly, well, you'll remember this game for a long time. He really hasn't injected himself into the match yet, and that's mainly due to the defence of the Wigan side. They've been really enthusiastic, but Ellery Hanley, he's really leading by example.
Good play. Iro. He's got the man outside him. He might not need him. He's going all the way, but he's got Myers there. Myers is down the touchline. Good cover tackling. And the ball coming back off the arms of Meninga and out into touch.
The gaps are appearing. There's no doubt about that. There we see Myers. Just didn't have the pace. And Meninga takes the ball into touch. But it's all action. And it's all Wigan.
And it's Wigan's head and ball. And they've got possession from the scrum. Now here is a chance. Iro again. They're just 10 metres short of the line. Hampson. Bruising tackle. Dermot again. Good defence from the Aussies though here. Gregory. Lucas stepping through. Encouraging that Wigan are breaking the first tackler here. Gregory, Edwards, Gregory again. This is the last tackle. Edwards. Marshall's there. Hampson's there in support. Can Hampson make it to the corner? Just going to be held up, I think. Wigan trying to push him over. Referee says he's held. But great attacking play from Wigan and superb defence from the Australians.
Well, Wigan are mixing and matching it here. The fullback came into it, but really Australia were very lax in defence. They both watched as the Wigan player went for the ball.
But it was all hands to the pumps in the end. And Wigan now trying to maintain Australia inside their own 22. Roach. Well pulled down by Hanley. And Hanley first man in again. That's the last tackle.
Here's Roach taking it, and really some heavy tackling. And that's the way to stop the Aussies.
Wonderful catch from Hampson. Myers there again. Here's Iro. Both sides getting through a ton of work in the opening 20 minutes or so here. Wigan still lead by 6 points to 0. Betts.
Full credit to the Wigan side. They're really mixing and matching it. They're using their forwards, they're doing the link, and the kicking has been superb. They're trying to keep it away from Belcher.
And I think we'll see Lydon doing that a lot in this match, as he has been already, and certainly at Wembley on the 27th. Oh, it's a great run from Michael Hancock, though. Super stuff from the winger. Australia coming forward again. McGaw unloads the pass brilliantly to Ettinghausen. Now he's got Hampson in front of him, elects to kick. And Gregory's there to sweep up, but Ettinghausen's followed his own kick ahead. And that is the Wigan try line.
That was the first bit of sheer class by the Australians. It's a beautiful pass by McGaw that sent E.T. on. And really didn't obstruct, he went for the ball. And the decision was correct.
Marshall gives the ball away in the danger zone. And the Australians back in possession. Langer, Daly, Meninga's wide, there he is. Belcher's there, so too is Hancock on that far side. Meninga, Walters, McGaw again. They're testing Wigan here. Hanley and Lucas doing well. Quick play the ball. Cartwright. Cartwright, is he in? The referee says no.
Looks like he's got him for a double movement. But they are now finding the gaps. Good run but from the dummy half, Cartwright. Well, yes, he reached out. Referee was correct on that occasion.
Colin Morris, he went into the dressing rooms before today's game, told the managers of both sides exactly what he expected out there on the pitch today after the fairly distasteful scenes at Wakefield on Wednesday. And so far, the recipe has worked. With Bobby Goulding warming up. Maybe he'll be introduced to the action shortly. as John Money just shuffles the pack. The pack of cards, that is. Bella. He's not been making the progress he was this time last week. So far, Langer. Roach is there. So too is Sironen. Good unloading. Oh, Langer drops it though. Another knock on. Some mistakes are coming.
Certainly are. A typical example of a side that is a little bit frustrated. They're trying to keep the ball alive, and Langer took his eye off the ball. Knock on and sigh of relief for the Wigan fans. But you mentioned, Eddie, this side, referee spoke to them both. We don't want any fisticuffs today, but the crowd have real value for money. And full credit to the Wigan side. Not many people thought that they would put on a display this good.
Michael Forshaw and Bobby Goulding just going back into the dugout for a moment. But Martin Dermott is injured and needing attention. Meanwhile, Kelvin Skerrett has been spoken to by referee Morris after the intervention of the touch judge. Dermott, though, fit to retain his place in the scrum. Well, that's a bit of a shambles. We can have it, though. Hanley. Langer snapping at his heels like a little terrier. Here's Edwards. And Goodway. Edwards again. Skerrett. If he is to force his way into Malcolm Reilly's squad of 19 for the first test, he knows he's got to put on a bit of a show here today. Here's the kick from Lydon. That's gone straight up in the air. Lydon's following it up himself. And he surrendered possession to Langer. Son just, I think, playing a part there. Meninga. This is Belcher. Good play by Wigan, though. And this is Bella.
Australia really have to get their act together. We haven't seen anything of Daly at all. And Langer has to start taking control and making sure that the ball is getting out wide.
And that's a lovely ball through from Daly. He's got support here. This is going to be a try for Ettinghausen. They won't stop him. Right next door to the posts. And Ettinghausen adds to his tally on this tour. That's the first today. It's the fourth on tour. And Ettinghausen does the trick again. Great play from Australia.
Well, I suggested that Langer must get this ball out wide. There it was. Beautiful pickup by the 5'8" for Australia. Daly and into E.T. An easy try, but that was good thinking by Daly. But it was a long ball by Langer. Watch this. He could see that there's no way through. The little chip through, a good pickup. And onto E.T. That's good support play. And in for his fourth try of the tour. See the pickup there by Daly. That's just after he put that lovely grubber kick through. And that's great support play from a wingman on the other side of the field. And well-deserved 4 points.
Andrew Ettinghausen. We know all about him. Hat-trick at St Helens last week. And a couple of spells with Leeds across the Pennines in Yorkshire. And so now Mal Meninga has the chance to bring Australia back level. There's a real conference going on meanwhile underneath the posts involving the Wigan players. Here's Meninga. One goal only last week. I think he might add to that tally now. And he does. Straight and true. Mal Meninga. That season with St Helens, of course. They still talk about it at Knowsley Road. 84, 85, 27 tries. But here today, he's brought Australia back level at 6 points apiece.
It's an amazing game, rugby league. I mentioned just a moment ago that the lock forward Laurie Daly hadn't injected himself into the game. What happens? Long ball by Langer. And the skill of the man. You could see that there was just no way he could get the ball out wide. And it was quick thinking. Put the ball to onto the ground for the grubber. And a good try.
By the way, if you're hearing Australian voices off microphone, we're sharing the television gantry today with our colleagues from Channel 10 in Australia. Graham Hughes and David Morrow are not too far away from us, and they do tend to get rather excited whenever the Australians get near the try line. Great run from blocker Roach. He's got Langer in support. Now they're all there now, and Hampson's got overtime to do here. Roach, has he got the speed? No. Good tackling back by Kevin Iro. Walters, still not over. I think it's a try in the corner. It is. Michael Hancock has scored the second try in as many minutes. And they've snapped back, and the Australian flag is waving here at Wigan. Stung early on. Here's the second try in as many minutes.
Long ball. This came after a great break by Roach. He backed up, but Hancock was being very elusive in this first 40 minutes. Roach plays the ball. Long ball by Walters. And really, Wigan were caught napping. They had to come back very quickly, but he caught David Myers out on the right wing. And Hancock just had the momentum and the speed to take him over.
So there's the try scorer, Michael Hancock, his second try of the tour, after his effort last week at Knowsley Road. And Mal Meninga now has quite a conversion attempt to face here, right out on that far touchline, as you can see. Be a valuable 2 points for Australia if they see this one go over the top. Well, he's not quite used to that sort of distance. Meninga misses the conversion attempt, but there's the scoreline. Wigan 6, Australia 10. And this is the run that led to that great Hancock try.
It's amazing what just one missed tackle can do. It can break your heart. And Roach, not noted for speed, but Langer, he was with him all the way. Through the dummy, Hampson took it, and all he saw was Roach. Roach surprises himself. He had 4 points in his mind here, but just didn't have it. Iro coming across, but from this resulting play of the ball, the try came.
There's Bobby Fulton, the Australian coach, watching with great interest here. He knows it's the 4th test match. Although he did like to play the importance of this game down yesterday, he knows just how important it really is. And he's seen his side snap back after going 6 points to 0 down. So here come the Australians again. Now it's an important time coming up for Wigan. 9 minutes or so to go to half-time. They don't want to concede any more tries if they can possibly help it. And they do with getting 1 or 2 themselves.
Touch judge in again, and the hooker.
That's the 3rd time he's been spoken to, Mike.
It certainly is. Have to be careful, Martin Dermott. There's only a small one. Just a little bit. Meninga, look at the strength of this guy. And it was the elbow into McDermott. He said, well, you gave me one, and I'll give you one back. Different angle. There it goes. Just a little one. Referee on the spot.
He's called his captain over, Ellery Hanley. I think he's told him any more of that, and Wigan might be reduced in number. Bella. 1 or 2 players out there in the Wigan colours playing for places in the test match. There are certainly players in the green and gold playing for the test. There are 1 or 2 players under a bit of pressure from the shadow squad. Lindner, Daly, good hands. Meninga. Oh, easy. Belcher. Walters. Langer. They keep it going. But he gave it to the wrong colour shirt then. Right as far as Wigan are concerned. This is Goodway. He's giving it to Marshall. Marshall's in touch. Just forced wide. Marshall just couldn't stay in the field of play.
Yes, just stepped inside there, couldn't get the ball away. E.T., a great tackle. That was really fancy stuff by the Australians. The support play is getting better. The Wigan defence is seeming to be a bit tired.
Hampson on Belcher. Good tackle. Daly. Since Mike Stevenson picked him out, is saying that he ought to really get more involved. He certainly has become involved in this match, Laurie Daly. Cartwright. Gerard Walters from dummy half. Roach. Siranen. The support just keeps coming in waves. McGaw, ball inside to Hancock. Missed tackle by Edwards. And again, they keep it going. Langer. That's Bobby Goulding, who's come into the action in place of Kevin Iro. So Goulding off the bench. Iro will take no further part in this match now. Daly. Long pass. Ettinghausen. Easy for Hampson. Good tackling from Ettinghausen and Daly. It seems to me that they've soaked the pressure up long enough. They're springing back.
Quite clear that that wonderful effort in the first stanza has taken it out on the Wigan side. They're not as enthusiastic moving up in defence. The gaps are now beginning to appear, especially round the rucks and the play of the ball.
Gregory, Edwards. Last tackle. Lydon will kick here. That's a bad ball, though. He's got to retreat. And he's under pressure, but he did well. And he's found touch.
Well, he'll be pleased with his kicking game today, Lydon. He's certainly kicked very well. He's kept Wigan still in with this game. Let's not forget they're only 4 points adrift. A great kick. Look at the Wigan players having to stay off. E.T. allowing it to go.
Australians, though, in possession with Daly. Good ball from him to Lindner. Lovely quick hands. This is McGaw. Langer's in support. There's another man out wide. Langer elects to come inside. Bella. Goulding leading the charge. Langer still keeping it going for Australia. They're still not finished. Cartwright. Belcher, he strolled in. Oh, dear me. Belcher has strolled in easily. The Wigan defence opened up, and Belcher said, thanks very much. I'll take the 4 points.
Basketball, football, put them in this position. Walters out wide, Cartwright through the inside dummy. And once again, the Wigan defence caught napping. You'll notice that they've stopped moving up, and that's why the gap appeared. Here's Cartwright. Remember, this is a forward, not a centre. And Belcher just accepts it. The gap was wide, and that comes about by not moving up and forcing the error.
So Gary Belcher gets his first try of the tour, and we know a bit about him as well. Having played it for Castleford, he appeared in a Yorkshire Cup final for them. And Joe Lydon, ominously for Wigan, is in a little bit of trouble as well. Meanwhile, Meninga has that kick to stretch the lead still further. Study of concentration. And that's the result. Another 2 points on the Australian total. Mal Meninga didn't have his shooting boots with him at St Helens. He's brought them to Central Park.
Well, it's a very quiet Wigan crowd now, but I'm sure they would have to agree that the football displayed by Australia in the last 10 minutes really has been sensational. They've kept the ball alive, and it's brought the Wigan defence into the middle and allowing those gaps to appear out wide.
The Wigan crowd, who have gone quiet, should remember the last time the Aussies were here in '86. That day, Wigan gave them a really big lead, and clawed it back bravely in the second half, only to go down narrowly. It was a day similar to this as well. It was a glorious day, just as this is. Graham Lowe that day, the Wigan coach, went into the dressing room apparently at half-time and said, "Have you stopped admiring them now?" And out they came and gave us a tremendous second half. Well, we saw Joe Lydon being treated for an injury as we approach half-time. Let's pick up news of that injury from Peter Hutton.
Well, the news on Joe Lydon is he got a kick to his knee. The Wigan physio thinks he'll be all right, but he is limping badly, and I think they'll have another look at him at half-time.
There's Joe Lydon limping a little bit as we approach half-time. And that's the knee that's causing a few problems. Meanwhile, it was a glorious kick from Laurie Daly that forced Wigan back towards their own try line, but they've got possession from the scrum. Now, it's vital they don't lose possession here. Good way. Trying to run straight through Daly. It's Gregory. And that's well chased again by Australia. They really are harrying Wigan. 3 tackles gone, and they've made no progress out of their own 22 at all. Lucas. Just look at the tackling from Australia. Ball goes free, it went back, the referee says, play on. Well, we lost sound to the gantry then, but you saw a tremendous try again from Andrew Ettinghausen, just shrugging off the challenge from Andy Gregory. And that's Ettinghausen's 5th try of this tour. He's only played a game and a half. Meninga, the man who set it up, what a powerhouse he is. And Ettinghausen, well, he just shrugged Gregory off like he was swatting a fly.
Certainly did, and Australia now making things looking very ominous for Wigan in the second half. E.T. they call him. He loves to score tries.
So Meninga with this. Again, a difficult chance from the touchline. Well, he's not got his sights in for those long-range conversion attempts. But he don't need to worry too much when they're running tries in as regularly and as easily as they have in the last 10 minutes of this first half.
They could have done without that Wigan. They should have gone in the half-time break. A little bit with a chance, but it's going to take a great effort by them in the second half to stop the Australian machine, which I think is now beginning to tick over, get out of second and third gear and get into top gear.
Well, there is the half-time siren. The referee says that is enough. And I think Wigan will be grateful for a half-time breather after starting this match so well. But Andrew Ettinghausen, with 2 tries, really has set the seal on another superb first-half display by the Kangaroo tourists. 4 years ago, they came back and gave us a match. I'm sure that will be very much in their mind now as they go in for half-time. We'll have